If the local police came to you and said, we want you to leave the back door of your house open just in case you're a criminal, because there are criminals in the world, most of us would understand that that was really bad law enforcement, right?
The debate about end-to-end encryption has been going on since the early 1990s. More than 20 years since then. A strong encryption has become part of almost everything that we do. Internet commerce, VPNs, browsers, mail clients, all kinds of technologies that we use as part of our everyday life depends on the technology that we had to fight for in the 1990s.
In messaging systems, there are basically two types of encryption. The first is what you find in your Gmail or your Hotmail, where your messages are encrypted from your PC or phone to the server, and then from the server to the recipient. And with mail systems like this, the authorities can wiretap your traffic by simply presenting an authority to the mail server at either end. They can present a warrant to Gmail and get your mail. The second type is what you find in WhatsApp or Signal, and there the encryption happens from your handset to your recipient's handset. So if there's a wiretap in the middle, then all the authorities get to learn is who sent a message to whom when. In order to get hold of the message contents, they have to find some way to undermine that encryption, or by accessing the device on one end or another, or getting hold of it as your phone is backed up to the cloud.
Client-side scanning means essentially that you don't control your own phone. Right. Client side, that's you. So there's a lot of sometimes technical terms that are, I think, obfuscate what's actually going on. What's going on is somebody else is scanning your phone to make sure that you're not doing anything on your phone that the government doesn't like.
In order to build such a scanning system, you basically have to put spyware into people's phones, which would either upload all the images for scanning, which breaks the entire point of end-to-end cryptography, or else it does some kind of rough and ready scanning using artificial intelligence techniques, and then sends suspect images to the central database to see if they were prohibited. Databases of illegal images are images that have been reduced in effect to a 27 by 27 pixel grayscale thumbnail. There are lots of things that can go wrong with this. In particular, you're likely to have very large numbers of false positives. The problem is that at present, the authorities can't deal with the large number of alerts that they get in any case. They'll just make the problem worse, in addition to destroying people's privacy. The technology problems with the proposal and client-side scanning will become apparent once the authorities reveal to us what software they propose to mandate. And we'll have no idea what's inside that. We just have to assume that it's only going to do what they say that it's going to do, because this can be used as a vector for the authorities to take over your phone and, for example, to turn it into a room bug.
If you build a security hole for law enforcement, it will be used by other people, and ultimately then they're leaving us less secure.
The Online Safety Bill has got many things rolled up into it, as legislation often does. Some of the features in there are welcome. For example, more ability for women to report online harassment and have things taken down. But other things that have been put in there at the behest of the security and intelligence agencies are designed from the outset to undermine privacy by making it easier to do surveillance on us. The problem is that the bill gives sweeping powers to Ofcom to impose regulations later in ways that will not be open to parliamentary scrutiny.
There are ways to investigate crimes without putting backdoors in the encryption. But it is very, very difficult to protect ourselves from foreign intel agencies like the Russian GRU or the Chinese intel agencies. Our national security requirements are much stronger now than they ever were, given the current geopolitical context. One of the only tools that we have that works really well is encryption, especially end-to-end encryption. We'd better not install backdoors when things are okay, because later when things are not okay, we need to organize politically to make them okay again. If we want to try to have an insurance policy of having some way to organize against an autocracy should one overtake our democracy, And we can't do that if there's backdoors, if there's client-side scanning, if there's things that make the autocracy able to rule forever. And that's a very dark future.
It is not possible to build a backdoor into your house that only good guys can use and that bad guys can never use. That just won't work. The digital world is the golden age of the government surveillance. If you're not thinking about how this thing that you're demanding could be used by bad people to hurt people around the world, then I think you're being naive about what you're demanding from technology.